Hey there, this week's exercise is going to be called the bullseye exercise. It's been widely used in different types of therapies and different types of coaching, but it's really going to be based off of not only trying to dig a little bit deeper into what your values are, but also how they balance with the other things you have going on in your life. So we're not just trying to identify if we're looking at relationships. You can look at family, friends, significant others, romantic relationships, any really type of relationship you want, and you can think about what you value in those relationships. And when you kind of identify what you value, then you're going to use that to almost rate yourself on a bullseye. The ring farthest on the outside is you living your life less aligned with those values that you identified that you would like to see in relationships. Closer to the bullseye and on the bullseye would be more in line with, or most in line with your actual values. So you're not just looking at necessarily relationships and if you're living in line with the values that you have for them, but you're also seeing how it kind of matches up with the other quadrants in life. All right, so what you're going to really be looking at are 4 different quadrants, all right? And one of them is going to be relationships. And in the activity, you'll be explained what those relationships actually mean, and you'll be given some space to actually kind of flesh out your thoughts on what you value in those relationships. Another one's going to be leisure, all right? So maybe an old person's word, but it's just what you enjoy doing, all right? What you do for fun, what you do for enjoyment, out of intrinsic value. You do it because you want to do it. And the different hobbies and interests you have in your life. Another one is going to be work or education. Depending on what age or life stage you're in, you might be focusing on college or high school or summer work or starting your career. But you're going to be asked to identify specifically different values and specifics in that area, that quadrant. And the last one is going to be personal growth and health. Okay, so like I said, in the exercise itself, it'll give you a little bit of a definition of what values actually mean and what we're looking for here, kind of the meat of it. And then when you kind of break down each of those pieces, each of those quadrants I just listed, it'll give you some descriptors of what we mean and what I mean about this. And it'll give you a little bit of direction and help on filling it out. So your first step is reading the instructions, and then you're going to kind of answer a few questions for each of those quadrants. And it's specific to you, and it's confidential, it's all yours. So really think about those things: the personal growth, the health, the relationships, leisure, and work or education, whatever you have relatively going on in your life. Really give some thought to those things, and then you're going to be presented with a bullseye. And like I said, it'll be broken up into 4 quadrants. And so the bullseye is living completely in line with the things that you previously wrote down. But all the way on the outskirt, the outer ring, or even outside, depending on where you want to put that X, will be indicative of how out of line you are with those values, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but something that we will definitely explore. So keeping that in mind, remember, you're not just focusing on one quadrant, all right? You're doing it one at a time, but then you're going to have a picture of the balance of everything. The balance of your life, the balance of maybe how you spend your time, what you choose to focus on, what you prioritize. So this isn't just an activity for you to rate individual pieces, but it's also an activity to see how everything kind of balances together, because that's really what we're going for. So this may be a values-based exercise, but it's also a balance-based exercise. So be completely honest in your answers, and take as much time as you need on these things, but fill each individual piece out and then move on to the next step of the actual bullseye and marking X's in each of the quadrants where you feel like you fall as far as the comparison to living in line or out of line with your values. So we'll do this, I'll follow up with you, and we'll take the next steps forward. Have a good day.